To do the elbow escape, I'm gonna slide my knee underneath his foot, slide, and now look, my right hand is gonna go underneath his leg. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna end up here on the half deep half. From here, I can set up my favorite sweep that I showed on my first DVD, and I have him. So the most important thing to understand is, he was on a very good position, he had the mount, he had the underhook, he had everything he wanted, and he ended up on my favorite position. So I got to turn the game completely. He was on his best position, now he is on my best position. So one more time. Control his pants, hand on my chest, elbow escape, and now I'm going to start placing my hand underneath his leg, and I'm going to end up here. Guys, every time I'm some bad position, as you just saw, like I want to close myself as much as I can, but I always try to recover that situation going to my best position, right? So here you're gonna see how do I do to escape from the mount going to the deep halfway. That's probably like one of my favorite positions. I do that since like 2006, since I was purple belt. So what's gonna happen is, let's imagine that once again he has his both hands on the mat here. Normally when he has his both hands on the mat, this is the time to work the elbow escape, right? So what I'm gonna do right here is one combination of the elbow escape with the deep halfway. So look, I'm gonna do all the principles that we saw in the beginning. I'm gonna close my elbow, I'm gonna place my hand on his leg, I'm gonna slide my knee underneath his foot, right? Okay, but to go to the deep halfway, I'm gonna change it a little. Instead of keeping the elbow escape, I'm gonna use my hand on his pants, right? Now my second hand, instead of going to his leg here, I'm gonna already put like underneath his leg. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slide my foot under his leg, and I'm gonna pass my hand underneath his knee over here. And there I am, the deep halfway. So look, my opponent has his both hands on the mat here. I'm gonna control his pants, place my hand underneath his leg, slide my knee underneath his foot, and I'm gonna go straight to the deep halfway. From here, it's one of my favorite positions, so I have a bunch of ways to sweep my opponent, and that's exactly what I wanted. He was on the mount, and now he is on the deep halfway. So it was a completely like game changing for him. He was at some very good and comfortable position, and now he is at some very comfortable position for me, where I have like all my sweeps. So let's see again. He's on the mount. I'm gonna close my elbow, control his pants. This hand here that was on his leg, I'm gonna start passing underneath his leg. I'm gonna slide my knee under his foot, and there I am on the deep halfway. From here I could work a bunch of sweeps, like my favorite one where I use lapel, or maybe the one I call like Turkish. I have a bunch of options. So one more time, he's on the mount. I have my both elbows closed here. Instead of use like elbow escape with using like really like my elbow, I'm gonna use my hand on his pants. Then I'm gonna start setting up the same thing that you do for the elbow escape, but this hand is gonna go underneath his leg. So, and I got a deep halfway here. So guys, this is what I really try to focus. I think one of the most important things in Jiu-Jitsu is the connections, the links of the techniques. So if you are able to link one bad position to your favorite position, I think that's going to be a huge thing for your game. So that's what I try to always focus on my game. So guys, now let's imagine I'm the mount. I'm going to follow all their principles again. So always remember, the most important thing is to follow the principles about how to be well closed here. So once again, I close my both elbows. I'm protecting my neck here with my both hands. My hands works like really like a defense here on my neck. I'm a little bit towards one side because I'm already thinking about elbow escape. But now let's imagine he's gonna try to choke me here. So he's gonna use this hand here to try to choke me. So guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna protect his forearm like this, and now I'm gonna control his elbow. And look, I'm already a little bit towards this side, so it's not hard for me to kind of like break his posture here. You guys can see how he's more turned to this way right now. Once I did that, I'm gonna place a hook here on his foot, right? And now I'm gonna work the most basic bridge we have. So look, I'm gonna do the bridge, and come up. Guys, one very important thing here that I see many people doing mistakes is they remember about escaping from the mount, but they don't remember that they will end up in the close guard. So many times I see people escaping from the mount and doing like this, and then he can easily start some attack. So one thing that's really important, always remember, as soon as you escape from the mount, make sure to set up your best posture on the close guard here. So I like to work on this way of posture. I control his buffalo pulse. I place one hand around his hip and I keep this arm stretching just to make sure he cannot use his upper body to attack me. If I feel that he's thinking about to attack my arm, like arm bar or something, then is the time that I'm gonna bend my elbow. And when I see that he gave up about the arm bar, I stretch my arm again. So look, he was on the mount. He was on the mount, I closed myself, he tried to set up a choke, I'm going to control his wrist. Once I control his wrist, I'm going to control here, behind his triceps as well. And I'm just going to make sure to kind of like break his posture here. So I don't want to hang like this. I want to hang like this. Look. Now I'm going to place a hook here on his leg to make sure that he cannot stretch that leg. And I'm going to bridge. Remember guys, right after the bridge, I'm going to set up my posture. So look. I'm gonna make the bridge, and posture up here, right? One more time. He's on the mount, I'm gonna close myself, I'm gonna control his wrist. So look, one hand goes to his wrist. The other hand is gonna go here, almost like around his shoulder, because I really want to pull him down here, right? Now I'm gonna place a hook on his foot, and I'm gonna bridge up. Use like as much leverage as you can with your hip. I'm gonna bridge, come up, and set up the best posture I can. If he thinks about attacking my arm, I'm gonna bend my elbow. When he gives up, I stretch again, and that's the game. Guys, on this situation here, I'm gonna show how to combine the two basic escapes we have. So how to combine the bridge with the elbow escape, right? So look guys, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna give a shot to the bridge. So I'm gonna control his arm and I'm gonna try to bridge, but let's imagine that for some reason he was able to put his hand on the mat. I didn't control this hand really well, this and that, and he was able to defend it. So I didn't have a good control of his arm. But guys, I don't wanna lose everything that I tried. So I wanna do another escape from here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for the elbow escape. Since this bridge, look, I'm still making my bridge. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stretch my leg down, pass it underneath his foot, and go for the elbow escape that we saw before. So I'm gonna frame him, I'm gonna bring my knee up, and I'm gonna recover the guard over here. So look, I tried to do the bridge first. I tried to do the bridge. He was able to use his hand to defend it. Look, I'm still making the bridge. My hip is high. I'm going to stretch one leg down. I'm going to slide it underneath his leg. And I'm going to close the guard or go to the Z guard. I can go to the Z, or I can bring my knee up, open up his arm, and close the guard. Right? So one more time. I have my knees here on the mount. I'm gonna try to set up the bridge. He's gonna post his hand on the mat. I didn't have a good control on his arm. But I'm not gonna lose what I did here. I'm gonna go to the elbow escape right after the bridge. So I'm here. Elbow escape. Frame him. Don't let him hold you down. Escape one more time. Bring your knee up. And close the guard. So let's just do full speed here. Last one. Bridge. Guys, on this situation here, I'm gonna show how to escape from the mount, trying the bridge and go into the one leg executor, right? So guys, what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna set up my bridge here, right? I'm gonna control his wrist, I'm gonna control around his elbow escape, I'm gonna keep myself all closed, and I'm gonna try to do the bridge. But look guys, I blocked this arm, but he still have his other arm free. So what's gonna happen? I'm gonna make my bridge and he's gonna post this hand on the mat over here. So look, he's on the mount, I'm gonna make the bridge, he places his hand on the mat, right? Guys, from here, I'm gonna do one hip escape here, and I'm gonna create all this room, if you guys can see, right? There's a big room here. So I'm gonna keep my hands on his arm where it was, and I'm gonna bring this knee in. Once I brought this knee in, I'm able to let his arm go, place my both hands underneath his armpit, and bring my leg over. And I'm gonna end up here with the one leg executor. From here, I could easily try the sweep like right away, keeping my elbows closed, kind of stretching him, and coming up. But let's be focused here on body escape. So, he's on the mount, I'm gonna control his wrist, I'm gonna control around his shoulder here. I'm gonna try to do the bridge, but he's gonna use his other arm to defend it. So look, I'm gonna make the bridge and he defended. So now look guys, if you guys can see, I have my right elbow on his ribs right here. I'm gonna take advantage of this to kind of like push him away a little bit for me and hip escape. Once I did the hip escape, there is one big room right here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring my knee in, both hands on his armpit, and bring my other foot on his ribs. And I have what we call like one leg executor. Right? So, last one. Let's change the angle. So, this is on the mount, right? I'm gonna control his wrist. I'm gonna control around his shoulder. I'm gonna bridge, and he's gonna post this hand on the mat over here. So, bridge, and he posts his hand there. Now I'm gonna hip escape, and pay attention about my elbow here. I use my elbow to push him away. Once I did that, my knee is gonna come in, both hands under his armpit, and I bring my foot over there. And I'm gonna stop at one leg executor. That's a very comfortable position for who is on bottom. And from here, I have a bunch of sweeps against him. I have the options to switch, for example, to the X guard, right? So this I have many options right here to work on a sweep. So once again,